A Nigerian man's vacation to the United States was permanently cancelled when he was arrested at JFK Airport for a $10 million fraud he committed in 2020. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, 14 Nigerians were arrested for their involvement in all sorts of fraudulent activities, including immigration fraud. But first, in Lagos State, Nigeria, a man has been accused of defrauding investors out of over 600 million naira. Meet Ayodele Toyosi, the alleged mastermind behind an agricultural scam that left many people counting their losses. The scam was simple yet very effective. Toyosi and his companies, Riprite Global Limited and Agorite Limited, presented themselves as experts in the agricultural exporting business. They claimed to help small-scale farmers make more money by putting them in touch with the international market. The company received millions by luring victims to invest in farm projects with promises of huge returns on their investments. But the truth was far from it. Instead of investing the money in agricultural exports, Toyosi allegedly used the funds for personal expenses. He purchased a luxurious house worth over 300 million naira in Lagos State with part of the stolen money. Eventually, the EFCC caught wind of the scam after receiving several petitions by affected victims, so they immediately launched an investigation. Authorities uncovered a complex web of deceit and fraud leading to Toyosi's arrest. Now, the EFCC has charged Toyosi with obtaining money by false pretenses and stealing, with a total official loss to victims estimated at over 600 million naira and $50,000. Some victims even claim that the amount stolen is over 3 billion naira. In court, Toyosi pleaded not guilty to the charges. The judge adjourned the case to a later date while Ayodele Toyosi is remanded in Ikoyi Correctional Facility. Tell me, have you been a victim of this type of scam before? Share your thoughts in the comment section. On August 13, 2024, a 40-year-old man from Nigeria, Yomi Jones, stepped off a plane at JFK Airport in New York, unaware that the authorities were on standby waiting to arrest him. Yomi Jones Olayeye, also known as Sabi, stands accused of spearheading a massive fraud scheme that stole at least $10 million in COVID-19 unemployment benefits from the United States. It all began between March and July 2020 as the world was reeling from the COVID-19 pandemic. Yomi saw an opportunity to exploit the emergency assistance programs designed to help Americans in need. First, he bought stolen personal identifiable information (PII) of US citizens from the dark web. With the stolen data, he applied for various pandemic assistance programs such as traditional unemployment insurance, pandemic unemployment assistance, and federal pandemic unemployment compensation. The applications falsely claimed that Yomi resided in states severely impacted by the pandemic. Meanwhile, he was in Nigeria. But he didn't stop there. Yomi and some of his criminal friends went further by opening US bank accounts and prepaid debit card accounts using the same fraudulent information to collect the stolen funds. They even recruited US-based account holders to help move the money around, eventually converting their ill-gotten gains into Bitcoin, making it harder to trace. Despite his efforts, the US authorities were able to trace the fraudulent activities back to Yomi. In total, Yomi applied for at least $10 million in fraudulent benefits. Now, Yomi Olayeye faces serious charges including wire fraud conspiracy, wire fraud, and aggravated identity theft. If convicted, he could spend up to 20 years in prison for the fraud charges alone, with an additional mandatory 2-year sentence for aggravated identity theft. But I find all this baffling. I can't wrap my head around why a person will rob a country and still make the mistake of traveling to that same country for vacation. Quite a strange thing to do. Do you think 20 years is too harsh for the crime Yomi committed, or does he deserve it? Finally, a shocking story from the Philippines, where the authorities have successfully dismantled a fraud syndicate run by Nigerians. The masterminds and leaders of the criminal group are Godswill Nnamdi Chukwu and Justin Chimezie Obi. These scammers were particularly skilled at targeting victims through love scams. They would create fake online profiles, pretending to be charming and successful people. Once they gained the trust of their victims, they would start asking for money for various reasons, from medical emergencies to business opportunities. But they weren't just limited to love scams. They were also involved in advance fee fraud, where they would trick people into sending them money for fake goods and services. Still, they didn't stop there. Credit card fraud was another part of their operation. Yeah, they would either sell the information on the stolen credit card to another scammer, or they would just use it for themselves to make charges on the victim's card. The two men were put under surveillance by the Philippine police for months to gather enough evidence. On the day of the arrest, 12 other Nigerians who were found in the same area were also arrested. It turns out that they were all overstaying their visas, making them illegal immigrants. I find this story shocking because why Philippines? I understand why scammers will want to go to developed countries like the United States, but why Philippines? Anyways, that's it guys. Thanks for sticking to the end. I'll see you again next week. Meanwhile, don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, stay safe.